Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. This is the second video in the series, inshallah, in which I will be debunking the claims of Christian apologists specifically pertaining to the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam and the hadith where he had black magic and was bewitched. So this video will analyze the implications of a prophet, specifically the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, being bewitched. And it will be a very short video, inshallah, and we'll go through what one of the most famous qadis, most famous scholars, has said about this issue. So if we look here, this is a book by Qadi Abul Fadl, and you can see at the top it says Al-Bab al-Awwal, and that translates to section 1. And the section is the matters pertaining to religion and the speech as to the infallibility of our Prophet and the remaining prophets, may Allah's blessings be upon them. So let's read it in its entirety, the entire section. Al-Qadi Abu Fadl said, let you be aware that the casual changes that occur to any human individual affect his body or senses unintentionally and without choice, such as illnesses and diseases, or intentionally and on purpose. And all that is indeed based on acting and doing. Yet scholars elaborated that into 3 types, setting belief into the heart, saying by tongue, and acting by the organs. And all humans are liable to defects and changes optionally and imperatively in these aspects. And though the Prophet ﷺ was from the humans and his natural disposition was exposed to what would befall the human natural disposition, the decisive proofs were set and the consensus agreed unanimously that he was different from them and free from all the optional flaws, as we will show, if Allah wills, in the coming details. So that might sound like a lot, but I assure you it's very easy to break down. Basically, what Al-Qadi Abul Fadl is saying is that every human goes through unintentional and without choice is flaws. So we have flaws that are unintentional without choice, and he listed illnesses and diseases. And the second one is flaws that are intentional, and that's based on our actions and based on what we do. And those can even be further broken down into belief, saying, and acting. So our flaws can be imperative, or the ones that make us human, such as illnesses and diseases, or optional ones, such as sinning, or saying evil things, or believing evil things. And so Al-Qadi continues saying that the Prophet ﷺ was free from these optional flaws, meaning that the Prophet ﷺ did not have the characteristic flaws of wrongful belief. Yani he was an archetypical character of the Messenger ﷺ. He was the Mustafa. He was the example for all of mankind. So he was free from those flaws that you and I might have. And the Prophet ﷺ, as the ulama have said, was infallible in his delivery of Islam, in the delivery of the message. So he was free from those flaws. However, the Prophet ﷺ was a human, so he was liable and subject to all the other flaws that affect a human, and those are imperative flaws, necessary flaws, such as illnesses and diseases. And one of those imperative flaws is black magic, being susceptible to that. And this was not just for the Prophet ﷺ, this was for all the prophets and messengers, as Al-Qadi mentions. And so, you and me, we might get black magic, we might get sihr upon us. And that is, in Islam, that's seen as a sickness, and it is just as natural as if you had gotten cancer. May Allah keep us away from that. Of course, black magic is facilitated by someone, but the effect of it is subject to happen to all humans. That's the main point of contention here. So Christian apologists, when they bring this up, they try to twist it. They try to make it seem that it's something that it's not, and they make it seem that this is something that is manufactured in humans. This is an optional flaw, but it's not. It's an imperative flaw that'll happen to everybody, and no one's special. These Christian apologists wouldn't have said anything if the Prophet ﷺ got the flu, and this should be seen the same way, because black magic falls under this category of imperative flaws, and everyone can be affected by it. But again, in the next video, I will be attacking the very authenticity of the hadith where the Prophet ﷺ was even accused of being under the influence of black magic. However, if the hadith was true, which it very well could be, however I doubt it, then it would not be a problem. Alright, Jazakumullah khair. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.